November 1st. It always sneaks up on you, and of course, that means that kids are heading back to school. This is a year quite different, at least quite different than any year I've ever known since I've been a parent with sending the kids back to school. A lot of concerns about safety. We had a discussion yesterday about what's happening in Alberta. Today we're going to focus on Ontario. Sam Hammond is the president of the Elementary Teachers Federation of Ontario, and he joins us now. And Sam, I mean, the questions I'm going to ask probably come more informed as me as a parent than anything else in terms of concerns you might have about the safe restart of the school year and actions that you're taking to try to ensure that.
Yeah, so we are continue to be concerned about the start of the school year around physical distancing, cohorting or reducing class sizes, problems with ventilation systems, and transportation or busing. And we've taken those concerns to the Ministry of Minister of Labor, to ask that orders be put in place for each of those areas. He has not agreed to do that. So we're taking the next step and going to the Ontario Labour Relations Board to appeal to them to have our concerns taken seriously.
What is the process there and the mechanism? Because I think perhaps parents living in the province of Ontario, my kids are high school kids. I know you represent the elementary teachers. So if they have young children, is it putting the start date of school in question? I think a lot of people are wondering if they're actually going to go back the day we're saying they're going to go back.
Yeah, well, some school boards have delayed the start of school by a week or so. And given how this plan is unrolling across the province, it would seem prudent at this point for the government and or school boards to delay the start of school by an additional week or two so that the issues and the concerns that have been raised by all education stakeholders, hundreds of thousands of parents, Ontario Principals Council and others could be dealt with, and we can ensure a safer return to school.
A real tension point here appears to me to be class sizes. Obviously, when we talk about social distancing, class sizes have always been an issue as long as I've covered any education issues for the past 20 years of my journalism career in Ontario. It seems to be an extra challenge now to try to get around this class size problem. How do we do that?
Yeah, boards are struggling based on the funding that they have to reduce class sizes, to reduce cohorts. We suggested that based on square footage of a room and a minimum of 1 meter distancing, that we should be looking at class sizes of 15. And what we're seeing, because of the lack of funding, additional funding from the government, are classes of 25, 27, and 30, and classes being collapsed. And everyone should be concerned about that. Where it worked successful, return to school have worked successful was, for example, in Denmark, where they actually insisted on and made orders of 2 meter distancing, class sizes no higher than 20, and they've had great success with that, and we should be doing the same thing here.
So where is the main point of contention, I guess, between you and the government? Why are we not seeing things eye to eye?
Yeah, I'm not sure. The government should, in fact, be listening. It's their responsibility. They hold the purse strings, so to speak. And when you have all education stakeholders, when you have the Ontario Public School Board Association, Principals Council, parent groups, some 250,000 people online saying that we need to reduce class sizes, we need to do something about buses that will run at capacity, they should be stepping up and providing more funding to school boards to ensure that those issues and concerns are dealt with.
Would that then make your organization feel that we've reached an acceptable level of risk? Because I think all parties agree that there's never going to be zero risk until this is over, until there's a vaccine, until we've wiped it out. We do know that having children back in school increases, there are points of contact, teachers are there. What is an acceptable level of risk? If we can get those class sizes down, then we can operate in that environment?
Yeah, so we want schools to open based on the social, emotional, and mental health of students and our members, and getting that system back in place. We just want to make sure that that it's done safely. And key to that is reducing those class sizes and ensuring there is a minimum of physical distancing in all areas of the school, but in particular in classrooms. We had hoped, for example, that when the federal government provided additional funds to the province recently, that the bulk of that funding, based on what all stakeholders were saying, that money would have been, the bulk of it would have been used to reduce class sizes, and that's not the case. That would relieve a lot of concerns if class sizes were smaller and if there was actual physical distancing, a minimum in place across the province.
Sam, thanks for taking the time to join us today.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you.
Sam Hammond is the Elementary Teachers Federation of Ontario president. We're going to take